Hi everybody. Uh, I've created this tutorial for those of you who couldn't make it to our live sessions, or perhaps you would like another review. Um, this is done in Windows, as you can see, and I am sorry about that for those of you who are Mac users. I do not have a Mac. I am working on that though. So while I don't guarantee that there'll be something for this mod, I can say that I think it's close enough that you'll get the idea if you need to have another tutorial or if you weren't able to come. I also learned from those who came that the common problem was not installation, which I was very happy about. It was more along the lines of the confusing interface, not knowing where things are, and how to move between EndNote, uh, Word, and Library. So I'm going to cover some basics about this interface. Then we will move to importing from the library, and then working in Word to do practice citations. Right now you can see up here in the upper left corner there are three icons. The first one, which is highlighted, is a combo of a book and a world, and then to the right is a set of books and then the world. So as you might guess, this one that's currently highlighted has the features of both of these others, and these are called modes. So in this mode, you would be able to see all references that are in the local library that you created, and if you did an online search all at once. In just the book mode, you will see only those that are local, and then, of course, last but not least, if you had done an online search. Now, here's a note about the online search. You can search many databases online without being authenticated, and you can bring in the citations, but usually, with the exception of probably the Library of Congress and maybe a couple of others, you will not be able to get the actual documents. So for right now, you probably aren't going to use online search too often. So the view that you should be in is the books, and that's pretty much where you will stay for some time. I created a new library to work in for this tutorial. There are two articles in here right now just to show you where they sit. And if you click on one, you can see information starts appearing down here. And I'm going to come back to that in a few minutes. First, I'm going to go to the next drop down. Right now, you can see it says APA 6th. When you first downloaded it, there may have been something probably annotated automatically highlighted here. You'll want to make sure that when you are working that you have APA 6th selected here and also in another place in the Word document, which I'll show you. So for today, we're selecting APA 6th. This button here, Copy to Local Library, is for using online search, so we won't have to worry about that. This one here is a new reference, and you will use this when you want to enter books or if you encounter a database that does not have export functionality. I would say in the last year or maybe two, most of them have added it, but not all, and you'll find that in particular the open journals are probably a 50-50 bet as to whether or not they have some sort of export functionality. So let's click on this. Here the automatic default is a journal article, and it brings up a whole list of fields. And I'm going to scroll down a little bit here, and you can see it's very long. You do not have to fill in all of these fields. Also notice that if I were to change this to book, some of the fields are changing. And so you will get different fields to fill in. depending on what it is that you're choosing. EndNote does not do quite everything for you, and they will give you probably more than you need in most cases in terms of all of these fields. And as I said, you do not have to fill them all out, but you do have to know what you should fill out. So this is where, although it makes your life much easier, you still have to be familiar with APA and what is expected in APA citations and references. I'm going to make up an author here. John. Now you'll see that I actually have hit enter between the name, and that is how EndNote looks for multiple authors. If you put them all in the same line, they will all run together. You could also write Smith, comma, J, and it will come out just fine as well. Year, place published, New York, New York, and publisher. I think I spelled that right. So if this were an edition, you would put it down here, second edition, and you can see that I am jumping different fields because I know what is required for this book entry according to APA. Now I'm going to jump way down here. So down here you'll see keywords, abstract, notes, research notes, URL, file attachment. If you're importing a journal article, some of these things will be filled in for you actually, but they are really helpful fields for you. And in fact, we will be using some of these when we come back to talk about the annotated bibliography assignment. The keywords are also helpful with groupings because you are able, as you get more citations, to set up groups, and it will search for your parameters and automatically file your resources into that group. So I often will put something here, keyword, that will help the search grab a particular reference and stick it into the proper group. And you also probably noticed that it says education. It starts to pick up keywords that are in your database already, so it's helping you type just like your text applications. The URL spot will be filled frequently if it's something that you've downloaded from a database with a direct link to that database. So if you didn't get the PDF, it will take you right there so that you can read it or download it. I do download my PDFs, and I'll show you that in a few minutes. And you can attach files directly in here. So you would right click, file attachments, and attach the appropriate file. So I'm going to save this as it is. And now that you've saved, you can come up and X this out, and it brings you back to the main list, and you can see there we go. And down below is a preview. Some of the other icons up here. Now this button, Insert Citation, is one that you can use, although once you're in Word, you really don't need to. But let's just say, you know, you found something and you know you want to use that one right away. You could highlight something here and click Insert Citation, and it would bring you to Word and it would insert the citation. It will also update the bibliography, which we call references in APA. If you made some changes in here, you click this button, and the same button is actually available in Word, and it will come back and look at EndNote and find the changes that were just made. And of course, it will just take you back to the WordPress. So that's an overview of the interface. I will talk to you a little bit more about what's down here in a few minutes after we go to the library and import something in. So I'm going to switch over. Here we are. From Blackboard, I clicked on the library tab, and then that brings you to this list of library resources. And EBSCOhost is probably the one that you will use by far the most. And I opened that here. I was prompted for my code that you should have gotten from the librarians. Now, coming down here, clearly education research complete is the one that we're often interested in, but don't dismiss academic or even the business source complete, particularly as we are going into some of the futuring techniques. You may find something pertinent here. It may not be fully about education or K-12, but it will still have useful information for your topic. So go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and keep those selected and click continue. And now I'm in search. So future, education, and I'm going to just do a very basic, easy search. And I'm going to choose full text because I wanted to have the text available. And this time I would like a peer-reviewed journal. So I'm going to click that and search. So now we have a list of possibilities. And we're just going to choose this one. I'm going to click on this link. And this is the overview of this particular article. And over here on the right, you'll see that there are a bunch of tools for you to use. The one you want to use to export your citation is export. So we're going to click on export. And the first one that is highlighted is the one we want. You can see EndNote in here. And I'm going to click save. And now EndNote is doing its magic, and there's the journal article. You also notice the interface changed. Before we were looking at all of our references, and now we're just looking at the import. So here you can see there's one imported, and if I click here, all 4 of them are there, which includes this new one. All right, going back to Firefox, as I said, I like to grab the full text PDF and save it. And then what I'm going to do, I was going to show you how to attach your document. Not only can you attach it from within the editing page, so if I double clicked on this, you would see all of those fields again, but you can also right click here and add the file. Sometimes you have to click off of it and it'll ask you to save, and then you can see we now have a paperclip. That means there's an attachment. So we have a preview here of the citation, but if I click here on the PDF and quick edit, you'll see that it will show you your PDF. And they have added recently in the last edition tools that allow you to write notes and highlight. So you can read this if you're an online reader and come through, put all your notes in, and then they'll save and they'll be there the next time you come in. You can also right click, open file. And then you have it locally. You can print it and do whatever you would like to do from here. All right, so that is the import function using EBSCOhost. You can also use Google Scholar,